Hi guys, over the next few weeks we are going to carry on looking at the topic of the people on our planet, and we're going to focus in on population change. So we're going to look at the populations of different countries, the number of people who live in countries. And by the end of these activities, you are going to be able to do the following. You're going to be able to use population pyramids to compare different countries. You're going to be able to explain why the size of a population changes. You're going to be able to analyse the benefits and problems caused by a youthful population and analyse the benefits and problems caused by an ageing population. And you're then going to be able to analyse how countries control their population. So what they do to either help a country's population grow or help a country's population kind of shrink a bit or slow down in growing. Okay, so this video is focusing on population pyramids, and our skill is going to be interpreting graphs. So by the end of this video, you will be able to identify the key features of a population pyramid and interpret population pyramids to collect information about a country or countries. Alrighty, so what exactly is a population pyramid? Well, population pyramids are special graphs that show how many people live within a country and what age they are. So on the right of the screen here, we have two population pyramids, one for Chad and one for the United States. And population pyramids are really helpful for geographers and for governments because they give us an idea of how much of the population is young, how much of it is kind of middle-aged or can work, and how much of the population is old. And this information can be used by governments to plan for the future. For example, they can work out how many schools they're going to need in the future, or how many care homes they're going to need in the future for elderly people. What exactly does a population pyramid show us then? So this population pyramid is for India, and it shows us the population in 2013. And we have two sides to this graph. We have the male side, which is blue, and the female side, which is pink. And these are basically two bar graphs that have been flipped on their side. The y-axis, the vertical axis, shows us the age of people, and these go up in groups of 5 years. Okay, and then along the bottom, on the x-axis, we have the number of people. Sometimes this is shown in millions, sometimes it is shown as a percentage of the population. From a population pyramid, we can get an idea of the birth rate, how many babies are born per 1,000 people. And we do this by looking at the bottom of the pyramid, at the age group 0 to 4, because that's where our newborn babies are going. So we want to work out how wide the bottom of the pyramid is. If we look at Madagascar, we have a wide base, okay? It's the widest bar on the population pyramid, and this means that we have a high birth rate. Lots of babies are being born. If we look at the Republic of Korea, South Korea though, we can see that the bottom bar of the pyramid is very narrow, okay? And this means that there is a lower birth rate in Korea. We can also get an idea of the death rate for a country, so the number of deaths per 1,000 people. And to do this, we want to look at how steep the sides are. Okay, for a population pyramid, you want to imagine that whenever somebody gets to a big birthday, like their 5th birthday or their 10th birthday or their 15th birthday, they are going to climb a ladder from the bar they're in to the bar above. But if people die, they don't climb that ladder, and so there are big gaps, big drop-offs from each bar to the next. And we can see this in Chad, where there is a big drop-off from the 0 to 4 bar to the 5 to 9 bar, and so on up the pyramid. So not as many people are surviving. The death rate is higher. In the USA though, we can see that the sides of the pyramid, especially for the bottom of the pyramid, are much straighter. There is less of a drop-off because more people are living. They are surviving and climbing up the next bar. So Chad has a higher death rate because the sides of the pyramid are steeper. They are more pyramid shaped. Fewer people are living to get to the next bar. There's one thing that we must remember when we're looking at birth rates and death rates on a population pyramid, and that's that the population pyramids only give us an indication or an idea of what the birth rate and the death rate are like. They do not tell us the exact numbers. They just tell us whether the birth rate is high or low, or the death rate is high or low. Okay, we're now going to do a quick quiz to check your knowledge of population pyramids and birth rates and death rates. So each question will come up on the screen. Pause the question, write down your answer, and then play it to go on to the next question. Okay, question number 1. Which of these countries has a high birth rate? Remember, look at the bottom of the pyramid. How wide is it? Question 2. Which country has the lower birth rate out of the Philippines and the USA? So which country has a lower birth rate? Remember, birth rate means look at the bottom of the pyramid. Question 3. Which country has a high death rate? So which of these countries, Angola or the USA, has the high death rate? Remember, you might want to look at the sides of the pyramid for this. And question 4. Which country has the lower death rate? So is the death rate lower in the Philippines or the USA? Okay, here are the answers for the quiz. So if you get a question wrong here while you're marking your answers, go back and have another little watch of the video to make sure you understand what you got wrong and why it was wrong. Right, question number 1. Which country has a high birth rate? So the country with the high birth rate here is Angola, because the base of the pyramid is really wide. It is the widest bar on the pyramid, so lots of babies are being born. Question 2. Which country has the lower birth rate? Hopefully here you put the USA. The bottom of the pyramid here is one of the narrowest bars. It is much narrower than in the Philippines, okay, because we've got about 7% of the population are boys and 7% are girls in the USA, whereas we've got about 12.5% are boys and 12% are girls in the Philippines. Question number 3. Which country has the high death rate? Angola here has the high death rate. The sides are very steep. It is like a pyramid. In the USA, the sides are pretty straight, so most people are climbing that ladder up to the next bar. They are not dying. Question 4. Which country has the lower death rate? Hopefully here you put the USA. Like we've just said, fewer people are dropping off each of the bars in the USA. The Philippines is still a bit pyramid shaped. It's still got some steps, which shows us that not everybody makes it to the next bar in the Philippines. Well done. That is the end of this activity on population pyramids. If we reflect back, you should now be able to identify the key features of a population pyramid. You should be able to identify the males, the females, the ages, and you should be able to know about the birth rate and a death rate in the country. And then you should have been able to interpret population pyramids to collect information about countries. So that was our quiz. Could you say whether the birth rate or the death rate was high or low within a country looking at the population pyramid? Remember that you can rewatch this video if you would like to get a bit more information or to go over any of the information that was given.